Alright, so I want to record this video a little bit for you guys since, excuse me guys, since I got this question, or how do you generally take profit? I don't normally see you have a hard take profit, hard TP, which is right. You normally trail your stop, right? That's yep. How many points do you trail? I've been trying to trail a certain way, so typically when it hits my 1-to-1 RR, so which is 40 points, I trail 35 points, and then I wait till it hits 80 points and trail to 75. I think it's a good way to trail without missing profit or being too risky. What do you think? I think that's fair. I just don't think you're always gonna have that opportunity, right? I think when you guys get so specific, you guys have to base it off of the setup. I mean, it's all extremely dependent on that setup, which, it might be like once every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks. It's just the hard reality of, that type of situation you kind of just drew out. Um, but as I was backtesting and you kind of sent that text message, I want to show you something, okay? I want to show you something. So let's just this example, which is a great example because this is actually one of the harder examples, one of the more complicated ones. Let me just rewind it to pre-market, because as you guys should know by now, the biggest advantage we day traders have, futures or forex, but I can only talk because of forex, but still futures or forex, it's still the same market. You guys don't understand, it's just different types of brokers utilizing the same exact markets, okay? Small pros, small cons to both. Obviously I'm a little bit biased, so I'm not going to say there's many differences with the CFDs forex aspect of trading these indices. But anyways, came up, came down. Should be easy to read this, right? Came up, came down, came up, came down, came up. So what do I want to see it do? I want to see it basically hold this, right? I want to basically see it break this. This would be an ultimate TP. Now, let me break it down. So we already identified basically where I want to see it hold support, right? You have to focus on the wicks. You have to focus on basically where the wicks from the top and where the wicks from the bottom are saying. So let me just put a line, dumb it down, right? That would be like probably the perfect place, right? So I just want you to see. I want to break down my trading again. So came down, we wicked it, went up. When we broke it, you see how we were wicking from the bottom, drop, double top of the double top of the bottom. The double top of the candles, came down, and we broke it with momentum. Came down. Yeah, it gets a little bit tricky because you're gonna be like, well, I don't know what to see over here because we broke it with massive candles and RZ. You said blah blah blah. Okay, but when we came back up, we want to see it hold over here. We're going to tap it for a retest, and then we want to see it push up, right? That's a trade that I took. Really was a good trade in that aspect. Just put it right there. Put it right there. And I want you guys to see something. Now, you have to read. You found your support, okay? Support and resistance. Let me just draw that. S or R. Support or resistance. But here's the thing that you guys now have to understand is, okay, where's TP? Well, you have to, that's gonna be literally the second part of the analysis. Okay, we came here, bounced up, and now we had a gap over here. Are we gonna fill this? Now you have a wick over here saying, okay, that we still haven't really filled this gap. Okay, even if you're using FXCM, don't get me wrong, you're not gonna see that massive gap, but you're gonna see a huge candle, which honestly, for me, that's a huge difference. But for you guys, you guys don't trade stocks. Most of you guys don't even know what that means. Okay, so that's fine. Get rid of the circle, for example. Let me just clear some of my brushes, as a matter of fact. But what you guys can't lie is that, again, this blue lines are support, right? We want to see it in the pre-market or market opening. We want to see a retest to push up. But where's gonna be your TP? Can you say that you want to basically that you want to see this break above session highs, right? Current session highs, and that you want to see it go like that? Well, no. In a perfect world, sure, but you can't always think like that, because guys, you have to look at the wicks, you have to look at the previous body closures. And if I'm being honest, it said that we already came up here twice and we came down, right? Actually, three times and we came down, right? And when we came somewhere over here, we also so either you could say we held support, or you can say that we definitely have some type of support here. What was support and now it's going to be resistance. So many ways you could have either got a support trade down here, or you could have got a resistance trade somewhere in this area. Now that's a very big range. That's why I always want to use these lines to make sure trading is simple as possible for you guys to understand, because otherwise I would say, looking at the wick, I want to say roughly this could be a great resistance, support. So the top of this box would be support. You can see it, right? Let's come on, let's look at it, because we were wicking, and then when we finally crashed it, look, when we came up, we wicked it once, two, three, but double bottoms. So I'm gonna count those four. And I mean, what are we expecting now, right? So now when we basically opened Sunday afternoon, we wicked it, crashed. So that would be a great TP, okay? The resistance, the bottom of it. Look what happens. So we wicked it over here. Okay, I remember that trade I did get in a little above the wick. It was a great 70-pointer trade for me. Next thing you know, fair enough. I just didn't think at the time that we could be holding resistance over there, to be brutally honest. So, but that was my TP. I mean, I was like, I trailed my stop loss, and this is what you have to understand. That's the whole point of this video. When you don't know where your TP would be, or when you understand where exactly we could reverse in the trade, trail at least whatever percentage of the trade that you want. Now, some people might be financially motivated, meaning you see 50, 60, $70. I know for me on my small account, I definitely want to secure that if I'm up that much. I never want to let a 50, 60, $70 trade go back down to $20, because then at that point, $20 not going to grow the small account. 50, 60, $70 for the small account is massive. I think we can all agree. But on a big account, again, it's all about percentage. It's all about percentage to the account, the percentage of positive gains or positive equity to the current balance or the current capital of the account. You just have to kind of figure that part on your own. I don't believe in what you just said, though, that this, when it hits my 1-1 RR, so 40 points, I trail 35 points. I feel like, and then I wait till it hits 80 points and trail to 75. I think that's very number based, and that's just not gonna happen all the time. Again, that's very situational. Half the times, being really honest, I don't even know if I can even get 60 points. And I mean, I think generally speaking, anything close to 40 points or 30, 35 plus points is literally a good trade for me, to be brutally honest again, right? So where would I have trailed my stop loss? Let's say that white line is my entry. I'm gonna just move this blue line, right? Let's say this is my stop loss. I would have moved it easily, like right there. Probably, maybe even if the moment, especially before market opening, I wanted to secure some type of profits, I would have at least protected, I don't know, I'm not even trying to worry about how many points I'm trying to secure, unless if I kind of see my profits and I'm like, wow, that's a great percent for the account. I shouldn't want to risk anything less to chew it off of my profits. So again, let me recap. You have to look at the market structure. If it wasn't simple enough to understand, you have to trail your stop loss according to market structure. Now, you might be asking, why did if I wanted to see it hold support there, if my entry is over here, the white dotted line, why did I trail it to basically right here? It's because at most, I wanted to see it beat these highs, you have to trade like you're extremely skeptical. A lot of people say trade with the extreme confidence. It could help you, but being skeptical and kind of second doubting yourself will save you from time to time. I'm gonna be the first trader to say that. Pre-market, we should have beat these highs, in my opinion, right? We should have beat these double tops. I wanted to see a break of structure, and that way I can move it slightly just below that by few, maybe like 5-10 points. The fact that we didn't makes me wonder, like, what if we're just holding over here? Because look at this. came up, drop, came up, drop. Whatever, just coming up again to drop. Okay, so that kind of gave me a good analysis of why this would be. If we could beat this, by the way, if we could beat this, I'm extremely, extremely going to be aggressive trailing my stop loss. As we keep moving up higher high, I'm literally just dragging, dropping, dragging, dropping, dragging, and dropping. So if you have a broker like Trade Locker where you can literally trade it, you can say automatically trail stop loss by 15, 20 points. I would keep that to probably like 10 points, to be brutally honest. Keep trailing for 10 points below current price action. So, but that's assuming that we break literally past what was resistance. So I think this was a great trade. That was a great question, and this was a great trade to exemplify that and answer that question. So, see, you though, you want to wait until you said you're 40 points up. You would have trailed 35. We have the same logic in terms of how much we want to secure of the trade, but the thing is, you're waiting way too long to trail. If you're up 20 points in my big account, again, could be easy. It could easily be like 25. It could be 50,000. It could be 100K. Really, it could be 100K. I'm not waiting that long to trail my stop loss. You know what I mean? When that's life-changing money. So you always have to think about it like that. I think the bigger question people forget to ask themselves is that don't try to be greedy, but if you're up a certain amount on the account, or if you're financially motivated, if you're up, say, again, 6 figures, you want to really see that 6 figures go down to like 19,000, 14,000, just for a simple retap or retest. So your win rate percentage and honestly your profits, your ability to make profit would extremely decrease. So, if you have to move your stop loss, I mean, even then, technically, I was already up 50 points from where I wanted to see it hold support. Yeah, let me do that again. That's already, I didn't even realize, and you can't even tell because the way I have my chart kind of zoomed out, which is why I always keep it like this so it doesn't amuse me. But man, that's already a 150 point move or 140 point move from where I wanted to see hold support to. Literally, that's crazy. 951. Anyways, guys, I hope this is a great video. At least rewatch this a few times in case it wasn't simple, clear. I can actually do another video. I can do another video. Let's talk about this one. This was also a great day. So what do we do over here? Okay. Drop, came up, drop, came up, drop, came up. We're dropping. I want to see it hold something over here. It would be a very, very simple trade. Now, if I'm just going to put a line just for the sake of making this video simple, not really complicated, look to the left, right? Look to the left. Easily says that we can basically hold right there. Look to the left. Yeah, that's pretty solid. Pretty solid. I mean, I don't know if I'm right again. I kind of just rewinded to a random date and I was like, okay, let's do this, right? So let's say I want to really see where we can hold it though. $8.59. I'm gonna just put it my stop loss right there. All right, so this is, you guys are seeing it live. This is how that's a little too zoomed in. Let's say this is what I want to see. You guys are literally seeing why and how I use my purple box, by the way. It's because I know not everybody watches these type of videos, so it does not harm me, right? I typically like to, I don't really hold a lot of data, but honestly, it does feel nice. I mean, this was even a better setup though. I just realized that. So what I want to see pre-market, I literally want to see a wick. And now see, she literally came down and wicked it over here. And a lot of people who don't trade pre-market, a lot of people who honestly wait for so long just to who wait so long just to get in a trade, or they strictly wait for after market opening or right at market opening, you're not, think about like this. If you could get your favorite cologne, favorite, say your favorite, you've always wanted to go to Hawaii and you finally get that flight for like $10, major discount, dude, major discount, say like easy 80-90% of a discount, but it has to literally be next week. Are you gonna skip it or are you gonna go? Even if you could, like, if everything was majorly discounted. So if you get a major discount, go for it, right? So here's the thing. I personally, there's no reason for it to tap over here and for it to already not start going up. So I probably would have got out of this trade extremely early, just being brutally honest. But the moment I saw that we would have been easily passing this, I would have easily had got in. Now maybe my entry might have been closer to that. I don't 100% know, but I do want to try to keep it as close as possible to the wick. That because rejection of literally that is telling me that we're gonna push up, right? It validates my opinion, my thought analysis. So I would have easily been trailing my stop loss right here, right? Maybe, and then the fact that we were wicking this makes me think like, okay, what if we just crash it here? So again, I overthink, sure, but there's no reason why we should be rejecting this. I want to see it break this. So every single time as a trade is moving, you need to, obviously charts always do this, right? Charts always do this, like this, like this, like this, like that, right? So you have to really protect yourself and protect your money. It's kind of like a huge game of tug of war. Every single trade, every single day, every single second. So I would have trailed my stop loss. I realistically would have already been out of this trade, probably like right here, to be honest. I would have most likely gave up like, say, 15 points. It is what it is, but I definitely don't want to lose anything more than 15 points, right? Especially 20 points. But in this case, from the top of the wick, so you would have been up, say, almost 100 points, but now you're only up literally half of the trade. If you're still in the trade waiting for market opening, you would have already gave back 50% of your profits. Again, say for example, $50,000 trade. Now you're still up in profit, but now instead of 50, it's like $24,900, $25,100, right? So there's just no reason why I should be retracing down there. And looking at it literally like this, it scares the shit out of me. So if you guys have to understand, you should always want to close out of a certain trade and profit. And there's always a good time, always another time to re-enter. So if she wicks or comes down here again, I'll jump back in to ride it back up. Ideally, I do want to see this as my, actually I want to see this literally hold resistance just to come crashing down. So that would have been a great TP. So let's see what happens. So let's see what she did, shall we? I remember I got out of this trade extremely early too. So she, see, these type of trades here, let me just show you. So obviously you can tell this green candle right here is market opening, right? I probably would have took profit right over here at 75 points. If I waited, then I probably would have got out. Again, sure, would have doubled how much profit I wanted. That's great, but there's literally no chance of me knowing that would have happened. So again, we're not here to assume, we're here to predict to the best of our abilities. Honestly, not super surprised that she did come down there. She was rejecting this zone. I wanted to see it hold some type of resistance there too, to be honest. So not surprised at all, guys. Not surprised at all. But